my dear Citizen Kane versus podcast listeners. We've been together now for a long time. And, this just feels really right. So, will you let me get down on one knee as I hold your hand and ask, dear Citizen Kane podcast listeners, will you listen through all the ad breaks without skipping? We watched Indecent Proposal and The Proposal.
Ah, the French champagne.
Champagne!
The schlocky movie from this week may be the schlockiest film we've ever seen on this podcast.
I'm Mr. Pink.
Sis Blue.
So Miranda hasn't seen Reservoir Dogs.
Those men's children are all identical clones of Adolf Hitler.
Once they were men, now they are land crabs.
Amanda Bynes is a national treasure.
There's like a bunch of other shit that happens in Driven.
Is there?
Secret Nazis.
Yeah.
Secret Nazis.
Big Daddy lost his eagle.
I hope
So-
no one from my family listens to this podcast.
The Citizen Kane of the week is... Yo, schmoes. Welcome to the Hottie Potty. Citizen Kane versus Blessed Be Ye who return once more to the Church of Kane. Thank you for joining us once more. If you feel like spreading the word, maybe this week try prayer. Like share a prayer.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And your bank account information.
And your bank account information.
Yep.
I have a real moral dilemma with encouraging prayer.
I'll pray for you then.
Yeah,
Thank
we can
you.
pray that. We can pray that
Don't,
away.
but I appreciate the idea.
Yeah. No.
I hear you can pray all kinds of stuff away.
Oh,
So
hell yeah.
We'll work on that. So thank you for joining us. No problem with it being a church, though, eh?
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm broke, so I could use the money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
about the money. It's the
Yeah.
tax write-off.
I'm in it for the salvation, actually.
Well, to each their own.
That's a problem.
What?
Just saying.
Damn. So welcome once again to our what is this now? We are a fighting themed movie podcast under the umbrella of a church theme.
Yeah, we're playing around.
Thanks for
Getting
not
a little muddy, right?
Yeah, thanks for not choosing one of our competitors in that field and
Yeah.
sticking with us again this episode.
You got to find a niche for your podcast.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You really want to hit that niche. Some people listen like, I like this movie podcast, and I like the fighting metaphor, but it just doesn't have the weird church overtone that they let go of after the first few lines anymore. I just, I'm lost on this. So
should we like really zero in on the specificity of the theme and make it like an underground fight club within the church, so we kind of incorporate everything?
And,
Like
and
it's-
actually, the church is us laundering the money that we're making from the illegal street fights.
That's exactly right.
Nice. We shouldn't say this on air.
no, it's good. It's good. So
Okay,
it's
fine.
and it's like and no longer like classic and shock. It's just like good versus evil, like the Lord versus
Yeah.
the devil.
Okay. And we dress them up like that when they fight.
We should pick some religious movies coming up. We should do
I have
we
I have
totally
Easter
should.
picks. I have
Easter
some
picks.
I have
Okay,
some
great.
Easter picks. Yeah.
The Easter. We'll have to lean in on the Easter episode.
All right.
So I'm Jack Rennie, by the way, and I'm joined by these two dummies, a one
Sean Jacqueline.
and the other.
Daniel Benoit.
Clearly, we're going for Sean Jacklin. You sound more like you're from Minnesota. I'm Sean Jacklin. This is Jack Rennie, and we're joined by Danny Benoit.
Oh, Danny makes me want to throw up.
So welcome once again. We've bumped we said it was going to be I guess a mice themed episode this episode, but we had to bump it because we just couldn't make scheduling work with our guest, but we will be doing that next episode. So this episode we have some proposal themed movies. We
Some
have
filler.
These are absolute filler movies if
Yeah.
ever we've watched them. My
Complete
goodness.
filler.
It is we have an indecent proposal as the classic versus the easily digestible schlock of The Proposal. Both technically movies, both hired actors. They got lighting crews to come. They filmed it. They edited what they got together, and in the end, movies.
I would almost argue surprisingly, that the proposal is more of a movie than Indecent Proposal, in that it actually has more of a fully formed and structured story.
I like a little bit, quite a
Right?
bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
It is actually, Sean was telling me this. It's more well reviewed,
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah.
which makes sense, because it really is like a really easy to enjoy movie. The Proposal.
It's schlock,
It
It's
is
just-
schlock
it's
in like the
just
best
schlock.
way, in that
Yeah.
it really harnesses the common denominator where you're like, God damn it, I know what you're gonna do, and thank you. You did it well, and I love you.
Yeah.
Like it hits that like homemade cookie kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And
But Indecent Proposal falls into, it's a classic because it's been referenced and like homage to so much since it came out, and it
Yeah.
has that cast in it. So,
yeah.
yeah,
It's like I've heard about this movie so much through my life. I've never seen it before. It was the first time. And it's weird as balls, man. Like it's
It is fucking weird.
yeah.
as balls.
Yeah.
As
As balls.
I I tried to look up some fun facts for this movie, and it was just like it was almost this actor. And it was like Woody Harrelson was uncomfortable because he was friends with Bruce Willis, who was dating Demi Moore at the time.
Right.
And you're like, okay.
Ooh. I mean, I get that. That first sex scene like almost made me uncomfortable.
She grabbed his dong.
She fucking put his dong in her mouth.
Yeah.
Well, not for realsies.
No, dude, unless he had like a padded groin, there was some dong in mouth action.
I didn't notice. There was a dong and mouth moment?
It wasn't like, it was like through underwear.
Yeah, it wasn't like
Oh.
full blowjob.
Yeah.
It was like semi chub getting nibbled on through the boxers.
Yeah, it was an uncomfortable P in M situation.
E and M. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
Is that penis and mouth?
Yeah.
Peen and mouth.
P in M.
Yeah.
I do have a fun fact for
Oh,
Indecent
God.
Proposal. It's based on a book by some author.
That makes sense.
Jack Engelhard is his name.
Emphasis on
And-
the hard, for sure.
Yeah. And in the book, it tackles a lot more than just money and love. It tackles the Middle East crisis a little bit.
Get the fuck out of
Um,
here.
How?
In that, the character that Woody Harrelson plays is Jewish in the book, and the character that Robert Redford plays in the book, he is an Arab. And it is.
Boy.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to find the quote here. That was just like, okay. Engelhard's novel contained cultural friction that the screenwriter left out of the movie. The main character, named Joshua, is Jewish, and his billionaire foil is Arab. In a review of the novel, the New York Times summarized its themes as the sanctity of marriage versus the love of money, the Jew versus significant non-Jews such as shishkas and sheiks, skill versus luck, materialism versus spirituality, Israel versus the Arab countries, the past versus the future, and the religious world versus the secular one. And I thought that's dangerous if that is not handled very well by someone who understands the nuances of these religions and the historical conflict. I'll look up this author. Maybe he's some like, he was born in France, but he moved to Canada and the United States. And he's quoted as saying that he's not very spiritual. He just kind of likes that like religion has a lot of mythology and spirituality in it. And he like kind of like exploring it, but he doesn't actually understand any of it. So I bet it's handled poorly.
Oh my
Really?
god, I'm dying to read that book now.
Oh.
I mean, even handled poorly, I would
God.
I would venture to say that it would make the movie at least 50% more entertaining.
Yeah.
If it was like DJ Khaled,
As the billionaire.
Why would
As
he
the-
be the billionaire?
that's good casting.
Yeah.
No, I feel like with Hollywood casting it, it would be like what's that guy's name? The Spanish one who was in Mother.
Oh,
Not a clue.
Javier
Javier-
Bardem. Someone like completely not Arab but has
Right.
like darker skin
Yeah.
and is a
Skin
big
like-
name.
And his
Right.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jason Schwartzman. I guess.
Probably still Woody Harrelson, actually.
I guess so,
or like
yeah.
Seth Rogen, maybe.
That's an indecent proposal I'd
Yeah.
watch. Still Demi Moore.
One of them, the rich
Yeah.
guy is Middleditch, and the husband is Schwartz.
Schwartz, yeah.
It's
Oh
just
my
a
God.
Middleditch and Schwartz.
Any fucking day of the week. Sign me up.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is so. In that interpretation, Demi Moore's character isn't just an object; she's property.
Exactly, right?
She's literal land.
It's gross.
Okay, well that's a fun enough fact. So let's segue into some intros, as it will, so we know a little bit more about who is fighting for good this week in the church basement, and who is fighting for the devil in the boxing church.
You killed that.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Citizen Kane vs. welcomes you to tonight's main event. Introducing first, in the red corner, a handsome young editor's assistant who was forced into a green card engagement by his mean and shitty boss, but falls head over heels for her over a weekend after learning about her involuntary celibacy and love of hip-hop. Coming in at 110 minutes, starring Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, The Proposal. And in the blue corner, a couple whose marriage gets blown to bits after an irresponsible night at the casino leads them to accept a $1 million offer from an old rich sociopath. Coming in at 117 minutes, starring Woody Harrelson and Demi Moore, Indecent Proposal.
Church, boxing church. That's our thing. Leaning into it.
I kind of love that. The boxing church. That's great.
Boxing church.
Boxing church.
Our priests do MMA.
That's
Like,
sick.
only the good kind of fighting. No bullshit.
No.
No
No
old
fucking
fashioned.
karate,
No,
no fucking
artistic.
kung
No
fu.
Tai Chi bullshit.
How many people would go to fucking church if you watched priests wrestle out their sins? You know?
Or if it was like an ongoing melodrama between like the agents of good and evil,
Yeah.
like the WWE, and they were like literally beating up demons every day.
That's kind of
as,
why
like, the-
people tune.
as the saints like flexing up.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be
I was gonna say,
sick.
that's kind of why people tune into Alex Jones, is to listen to the good and evil.
Now, hold on. Now, would the priests be wrestling each other to rid the church of sin, or would they be wrestling each individual
parishioner. I think.
parishioner?
Yeah, I think
like a
confession. I think
Yeah,
confession
instead of like
is,
yes,
it's
confession
3
is
rings
a
in the
wrestling match.
octagon. Yeah.
That's
Well, you know
sick.
what's it called when people they shake and they fall to the ground because they're in the really extreme,
I don't know what the
Practice.
actual. I don't know if there's a word for it. It's
when they're
just
like
when-
raptured, when they're enraptured with it, when they're
yeah, when you like
Yeah.
feel the
A revival,
the
right?
Holy Spirit
Yeah,
over
yeah.
overpower you.
yeah,
Yeah.
the power of Christ compels you. It's that, but it's like a suplex.
Love it.
I do fucking love it, actually. That's fucking sick. To answer your question, though, I feel like you'd get more people at church, but all the people who currently go to church would not go to church.
No,
would-
I think like 50% of them would stay though.
Oh, yeah,
they're
there's a good
mostly
I
in
percent.
it.
don't know, man.
They're mostly in it for the hatred and the violence.
Yeah,
The hatred for sure. The violence, I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like there's a certain air of like being above it, like being above violence. That's like part of being religious.
Yeah, and that's like 50%. Anyways.
and then they're
Yeah.
like shoot. They're like shoot the criminals, shoot them, shoot more criminals.
God.
Bless you,
Shoot more criminals, God.
God. Movie pitch. God comes down and starts shooting criminals. Okay, so let's jump in to our first round for these two church-going boxing contenders. Round 1. Story. Good. As always, 1 ding and 2 soft dings. Perfect. So as you already kind of mentioned,
Soft dings.
soft. There's a phrase you don't say often, eh? Soft dings.
Soft things.
I was worried this morning when I woke up to a pair of soft dings.
Well,
It shook me to my core. But you already kind of touched on it, Dan, though, that the proposal has a slightly, okay, I'm going to debate this. It has a slightly cleaner story in that, like, it's more like regimentally constructed. Like, it's more, you can, it's just made to be followed more easily.
It's cookie cuttered.
Yes.
It's pretty cookie in a way that's like not unpleasing, you know, like there's a reason why that's the cookie cutter is because it can work and it's done rather well. I'd say it's a really satisfying version of the cookie cutter. The ending, I think, just kind of like deflates and is like a weird whoopee cushion moment where like they're just like and they're like and I'm ready. I'm kind of
both films.
Yeah, but but the proposal had all these cookie cutter things to set it up, and then it just kind of tells us they're in love.
Yeah,
kind of seen hints, and it's like, no, they're in love, and we're like, they are. And they're like, yeah, it's a happy ending. They're in love, and I'm like, oh, okay. Thanks for telling me.
That's the problem with the proposal is that it's destined to fail because it only gives the characters 3 days, right?
Right. But you can do a lot in 3 days.
You can, but when you set it up that their relationship starts on like they couldn't be further apart. They literally hate each other. Or I guess Sandra Bullock is indifferent, but Ryan Reynolds loathes this woman and has talked about how much he hates her for 3 years. Yeah. So to overcome that and do a complete turnaround in 3 days doesn't make any sense, especially since there's been no real motivating actions to prompt that switch.
They kiss and she goes, "Oh."
And then they fall on each other naked.
Yeah.
I mean that would do something. I don't know if that would make me fall in love with someone, but it would definitely make me think about that person sexually all the time.
Right.
I mean, there's chemicals, right? There's chemicals in
rub them together, the chemicals.
The skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's science behind this. The skin chemicals, they were wet.
Yeah.
He had been sweaty, so there were endorphins.
Right.
Pheromones.
Plus, there was a dog in the room.
It was a dog.
That makes it a doggy style.
That makes it doggy style. That's true.
Yeah, so it's like kind of sweet, but it doesn't like the equation of the math doesn't add up. Unfortunately.
No, not at all. I think Sean kind of hinted at this a couple of minutes ago, but I think both movies really suffer from having a really good setup and a good like first and like
a great premise.
A good premise. The first act is compelling enough that you want to keep watching.
Mm-hmm.
The second act kind of starts to unravel a little bit, and by the third act, you kind of don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
And I found that I found that with Indecent Proposal too. I thought all of the lead up and all of the kind of weird cat and mouse stuff with Robert Redford's character was really interesting. But after the night, there is no more story there. Then you just kind of are just watching
weird as fuck.
People spiral for an hour.
I would like to chart Demi Moore's character, Diana's progression, because like at all times she's an object. At all times she's a thing to be possessed. So that stays constant. Like whoop, that's the same.
Right, so that line is a flat. That's a flat line that helps. That's a good start.
So that's the objectivity ratio, and it's going to be on the same XY axis as who she loves, because it's like Woody Harrelson for all of the film, and you're like certain she's rock steady, but then for no reason except Robert Redford's character gets more creepy, she falls for him, and that is why she throws her entire life in, and like Woody Harrelson is also a psychopath in this film. Let's not sugarcoat that.
Psychopath is a bit of a strong word, but he loses control a little bit. I don't think he's a psychopath, but he spirals. He gets
spirals.
He gets a little kooky.
He gets healthier as the film progresses. So
sure,
but Robert Redford's psychopath line stays the same all the way through.
I hope people have their pencil and paper out as they do for every episode to chart this graph. You should always have a pen and paper nearby when
I've got this bulletin board here that's all red string and tacks, you know.
And it's just various actors and then strings that lead to a note in the middle that say psychopath.
Yeah.
not just after that, I'm gonna also call it the beginning of an indecent proposal where we get 15 minutes of voiceover for totally like inane stuff, just being like, we met when we were young, and he proposed and we ran away. He loved to tell me about the buildings, and that's why I loved him. And then it's like, is that over now? And then he's like, yeah, anyway, Woody Harrelson here, more notes.
See, it was a little much, but I didn't mind the convention because I think that all that backstory was really crucial to landing us in the part of the story where we actually start, right? Like, we have to know how rock steady their relationship actually is, and also how financially unstable they are before we can get the ball rolling.
Let's question that.
And okay,
Yeah,
let's
financially
question
unstable.
their
My
financial
ass.
instability.
Yeah.
They live in a gorgeous house. A gorgeous house. Maybe it's a little old. It is gorgeous with a huge backyard.
do they live in a gorgeous house when they're losing all their money,
Yes.
Yeah,
or
they're
after
trying
they get
to.
the $1 million?
Yeah, they're
No.
trying to build their dream home second to their primary home.
They don't touch the $1 million till he buys the hippo at the end. And if you haven't seen this movie, that sentence should be enough to make you watch this movie.
Right. I forgot about the hippo for a second.
Also, I pointed out because I watched it with Sean today. He doesn't have $1 million. Fucking his lawyer took a cut. He has at most $950,000. So that's
Yeah.
bullshit. He should have proposed.
That
He
is
should have been like 932,000. And he'd be like, that's an oddly specific. He's like, well, taxes
Okay.
and I had to pay a couple fees and the bank took a chunk.
They
Right.
they tested shooting that, and it did. The audience was confused.
People love the sound of $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the whole idea is that they are at risk of losing all the things that they have. So they live in a nice house because they've had money, they've had a stable. I don't know what she does, but I know he's
Real
had
estate.
a stable job.
Real estate.
Real estate, right? And she was supporting them, but then the recession hits, then he gets laid off. So
Right.
what they're
Yeah.
living in is a result of what they can afford
Sure.
pre-disaster. Right?
Yeah, but they're losing money because they have this new property that they're sinking all of their money into building the new home. So what I'm saying is, even losing their dream home, which is something that only people in the 90s can ever think of, they still have a really nice home.
They do, but they're going to lose that home also because they have no money. Because
Yeah,
they
but
have no
that's-
money coming in.
Yeah, but that's their own fucking fault. Like I
Yeah.
just like
So be a cab driver. Like
I don't think.
Well, that's
they
what
were
they
like.
talked-
He's
that's
like.
what
He's
I
like. I'll have to wait tables. And we were like, oh, no. What present work?
you might have to have 2 jobs.
And look, like Dan, don't get me wrong. I do understand totally. It's they're setting up the premise. The point is what we're told is that they're going to lose their shit. And I get that.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
tone is still weird with the voiceovers. You know the part of remember when we watched the classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie,
Mhm.
and they're out at that random house, and there's like a voiceover from April
I?
O'Neil, and it's all sad and melancholic.
Yeah.
That's the tone and vibe that this movie starts with, which is maybe all right. They're trying to, but it's weird.
And then it gets comedic at points.
It's a silly movie sometimes.
Well, I mean, we can discuss this more in the production category, but I feel like that was really the major shortcoming of this film was that the director had a tone in mind that didn't actually fit the story. So there's some stuff that
100%.
yeah, so there's some stuff that like from a cinematography standpoint actually is quite fitting and actually quite beautiful, but then coupled with the choice of score,
Yeah, we'll get to that.
yeah, we'll get to it, but
You're right. There's a dissonance with this movie.
yeah, it's very strange.
The proposal, I think, is more sonant
Sonant?
as opposed to dissonant. It's more sonant.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get people to turn off the podcast.
Hey man, if they stuck through fighting church, then
Yeah.
they're with us till the
They're
end.
with us
Yeah.
for the long fight.
That might be
Yeah.
the stupidest thing you've ever said. I don't know.
What are you talking? I think it's pretty smart.
Yeah.
So
But
like
yes,
the
yes.
music off the bat is like super quirky and peppy, and it's, you know what I mean, like it sets its tone in a different way. It also has an opening montage, but it's faster and like yeah, just like more energized. It's way more energetic as opposed to the sleepy tone of the beginning of Indecent Proposal.
Yeah, but they want you to like make love to the couple in Indecent Proposal, and they want you to be like, this is quirky and fun.
Yeah. It's
In
Ryan
the other one.
Reynolds,
Yeah.
everyone.
He is quirky and fun.
He's very quirky. He has some great lines. I'm sure he contributed a couple to these that weren't in the script, and bless his soul for being good at them.
I have a feeling the script was like 80% improvised based on some of the scenes.
Agree.
Which,
Yeah.
like, I don't mind. I'm always down for that. If it makes the film better, I'm okay. I would rather some quirky improv than a poorly written
Let me say,
robotic line.
Sandy B and Ryan are. They both are. They could pull it off. I think pretty much everyone else that was asked to make up dialogue was not good at it.
You mean like the stripper hardware salesman?
Ramon, yeah,
He can't do it.
Mary Steenbergen.
The mom.
The mom, unfortunately, when she was yelling at Craig T. Nelson for upsetting Ryan and making him carve the canoe. She just was like repeating the same 4 words over and over again, but getting like more angry as she said it. And I was like, oh no.
Check the box.
Yeah.
Betty White had some good lines though.
She did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was one of those things. I think there was some scripting. I think the beginning was scripted. It's pretty clean. I actually made a note. There's a lot of nice writing that shows us things about the characters, like little things where, like as an example that I made note of like Sandy B trying to remember someone to Ryan Reynolds, and she's like, "Oh, right, the one who's the one with the ugly hands," and then he's like, "Oh, you mean so and so," and that's like that. It's a funny line, and it's also it tells us something about her that she thinks she notices the negative in others, and that's like it's just little things like that actually are like crafted that I appreciated. And there's a lot of that I think in this movie, which is like good. I was like, that's fine, good writing. It's fast.
Yeah. Again, if this hadn't been a romantic comedy, I don't know what else it would have been. But if they had if it could have been anything else that didn't require them to kind of shoehorn
The marriage at the end,
a romantic relationship into it, I think it could have been actually quite good. Because, like you said, the writer, whoever was writing it, clearly has some talent. The cast is very strong, but the story has no legs because you can't go to such an extreme in such a short amount of time without something monumental happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's a movie.
She discovers the power of family.
Yeah, I think there's the beginning of it. I think they just go for the wrong ending. I just think it ends weird.
I did when he has his scene and his old girlfriend Malin Akerman walks in. It's like, are you going to go to her? The movie failed for me because at that moment I was like, no, he's staying there and being with you.
Yeah,
because you're cool.
You're cool.
I also thought that they were going to have a bit of a twist because when she comes in and he is just freaking out, kind of rattling off all the reasons why he's pissed, I thought that was the direction we were going to go. And it actually wasn't going to be a happy ending love story. I thought it was going to be he confronts her and we end in some kind of like amicable platonic realm. Yeah. Which would have been a nice little kind of twist for me because the movie starts, where it's going to end up. So I thought
she gets proposed to by Ramon or Lamone, and now they get, and he proposes to Malin Akerman, and that's
like a double wedding in the barn.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the real proposal at the end, is that she falls for him.
Which would have been funny because Ramon is clearly an immigrant, so the fact that she's having a green card wedding with an immigrant is hilarious.
But she moves to Mexico to be with him.
We should note that this movie's take on race is rooted very much in a that warm glow we all had after Barack Obama was elected president, and we all
and racism ended. I remember.
Like, well done, everybody. We did it. Now we can go back to making fun of Hispanic people. Congratulations.
And Aboriginal people.
Yeah.
Thanks for getting that in, Dan. Alrighty. Well, moving on. That's the end of that round. So let us not jump into another round. Let us take an ad break and return. Jeez, return.
Hey, Jack.
What the
God.
fuck is wrong with you today, man?
Look, I said sonant.
You said whoopee cushy earlier.
I never said I spoke good. We're taking an ad break. See you in a second. And welcome back to the basement of the church where the fighting is happening. Let's move in to our second round, which is, in the spirit of Ramon, Produccione Bueno. Thanks, Obama.
Merveille.
No, that's Italian, Sean.
Yes, I know. Yes. Russian.
So the production. I want to talk about Indecent Proposal first because the why the movie was like this, had the Vaseline over it, and it was like a weird Latin lover filter, and it was done in like these chalky pastels, and the tone was like two people meet and they love each other, and then a bad man come, give him lots of money. He loses his mind. He go crazy, and then he said, "No, you shouldn't be with me anymore." And then they love each other again. Like, I just don't know why. What the fuck? It was so weird. I remember seeing there when he's losing his mind and he's wandering Vegas, and he's like, there's like a shot of what looks like her having sex on all these screens around him in the casino at the betting track.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that.
I thought it was a horse race.
I know, but then it sort of looks like a woman's, with her hair next to her face.
Ooh,
and then there's all these screens around him.
Move.
And I was like, yo, cool, like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas moment. It doesn't fit here, much as I want you to do it.
Yeah, that was the problem, is that in my opinion, it seemed like the director was basing each scene or basing the tone of each scene. How do I put this? Kind of treating each scene as like its own little movie. You know what I mean? Like the montage was kind of one thing, it was like the memory part of it.
Yeah.
And then we had this stuff in the casino where they're winning and they're on the hot streak, or even when they're losing, and everything was like super slow motion on the ball, and we have the spinning camera on all the people at the roulette table.
Yeah.
Like, visually it all makes sense from a storytelling perspective, but it's very disjointed because none of the pieces actually connect. There's no aesthetic cohesion. You know what I mean? Like everything is, because everything feels like he's basing how he's shooting it on how to make it the most exciting version of that part of the story. So it ends up kind of being its own like little story, as opposed
get this,
to
like,
serving the bigger picture.
Yeah. We had this overly dramatic Woody Harrelson running up the stairs to the helicopter.
Oh my God, that drove me nuts. That was a moment where the score didn't fit the scene at all.
Correct.
Yeah, because it was still soft.
It was soft. It was kind of romantic. It was like not happy, but like way too bright for what was going on.
What would you have preferred to hear in that moment?
I don't know the name of it, but like that.
Right, some Carmen.
Yeah. Some like crazy. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. Something
like low cello. It's just been like.
Well, just like something in a minor key, something that is more dramatic, but on the urgent, but like urgent. Urgent was the word. Urgent is the word I'm looking for, and that wasn't there. It felt like the music that you'd hear in a love scene.
It did feel very much like the one in that first sex scene, the like stringy music.
Yeah,
and
it just felt like
And just because you brought up that first sex scene, I want to give a little bit of kudos to this director and to those actors, because it was one of the spiciest sex scenes I have seen in a movie. It was fucking hot, and that's a hard thing to shoot.
Yeah.
When you're two actors, one of you, I didn't realize she was dating Bruce Willis at the time, but like if you're otherwise involved, like it's a very vulnerable thing to have to do.
Yep.
and it's fucking hot. And they,
Yeah,
and
you don't see ass to mouth in every movie. That's for sure.
you do not see ass to mouth in every movie. But there's a full on shot where he just like rips her bra off and like goes for a nipple suck, and like, I don't know.
And you were like, I want to act again.
100%. I started sending out my headshots during the movie.
You got an agent already.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just, I mean, I don't know if impressed was the right word. Impressed maybe is the right word.
Turned on.
Turned
Yeah.
on for sure.
It was an effectively done love scene.
Yeah. It gave you this real feeling that there was a real heat between them, and
Totally.
including the shots of the flaming underwear, right? The smoking underwear on the stove as
Yeah. Symbolic
Sean.
of their love.
spicy panties.
Spicy hot panties. Well, spicy hot Calvin Klein, like male tidy whitey Calvin Klein.
Tidy whities.
Fruit of the Looms.
You don't put your clothes on the table like I want you.
Are you? That's just the maid that he encounters later on that doesn't understand how to say they went to the roof, and there's this great moment of chaos. Yeah.
Up. So it's a pretty weird. This seems like they're trying to sell it as like this great love story, as opposed to like a drama.
I think it was marketed as that. However, it's rooted in such a like puritanical interpretation of love that
Oh my god!
Well,
I
don't-
own you.
I don't actually know how I would categorize this movie, because I don't know what it is. I don't know what the story is supposed to be. I don't know whose movie it actually is.
I think it's supposed to be kind of like 50 Shades of Grey. Like if we were to look at it, then it would be that hot movie. It made it was a budget of like $34 million, and it made like $260 million.
Yeah,
Holy
it was a
Yeah.
50 Shades of Grey of its time. That's why it's so entrenched in the pop culture.
Yeah. And the proposal is the proposal of its time.
It's made cleanly.
Yeah.
Well
it's-
shot, beautiful sets and stuff, and
But
Settings.
it's hard to discuss the production of or the production value, excuse me, of the proposal, because it is so paint by numbers.
it's like a generic. It's like a glossy donut
Yeah,
in the case. Like it's been untouched, and it looks just like you imagined that chocolate dip was going to look. Like there's nothing unsurprising about it.
well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, Betty White doing like a spirit chant in the forest.
With the cardboard headdress.
That was surprising.
Oh, boy.
Watching Sandra Bullock, I guess in her character's moment of like letting loose, watching her like do her version of twerking to
Oh, yeah.
I forget what song it was.
From the window to the wall.
Right.
And just for a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
I felt
they didn't.
so bad for her in that moment.
They had her also naked for a long time.
Yeah.
That was a decently long sequence.
It was
of
a long
her
time.
being scared of the dog.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Ugh.
weirdness with explaining why her character does things. They just need the plot to move along. So
Which is the danger of the cookie cutter, which is just
Yeah.
like she loses her phone, which is hard for work,
Mhm.
so, because the dog is out, and then an eagle,
Eagle comes.
and all of this, by the way, is going to look really good with the CGI we have.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I guess that's a thing we can comment on. Is the
CGI.
fucking bad CGI, because there's a lot of it outside of the weird eagle dog moment.
And like
Just
some
like-
green screen boat stuff.
Yep. Looks real cheap. Also, are we expected to believe that in 2009 there are small towns that don't have cable internet?
I think that was the joke. I think because it's in Alaska, I don't know, at the town cafe.
No,
I think that's-
infrastructure
Yeah.
infrastructure in the States for the internet is bad.
Yeah.
It's possible.
All right.
I mean, I had dial-up internet up till about 2009. to
Are
be
you
honest.
fucking kidding me?
Yeah, man. Canada's
What?
internet sucks.
But
Yeah.
dial up till 2009?
Yeah, dude. It's not cost effective to get high-speed internet out to rural areas.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I keep forgetting you like grew up on a farm.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Some sort of shanty town.
Yes, on the coast,
Shanty town.
singing many a
The wrong
song and
accent.
drink. Yeah, no.
That's just the wrong event. Yeah, so I did enjoy, like, I did enjoy production elements of Indecent Proposal. There were some really lovely shots
Yeah.
and like interesting scoring. It's weird and disjointed, but it's at least like bolder choices than I expected,
Yeah.
which I appreciate as like a now an ongoing movie
Yeah.
watcher.
And it's well shot. It
It is.
And like there's that TV scene. There's a half dozen shots that are brilliantly framed and really like show you the struggle that the character's supposed to be going through at that time.
Yeah.
It's well thought out. The Proposal has shots that show boats docking.
Yeah. She takes a long time to climb down that ladder.
She does. That was a part. And then he put his hand on her butt, and she was like, "No, don't you put
Oh,
your hand on my
man.
butt." And he's like, "Okay."
Those are the parts of the movie that are really, I mean, these movies both treat women weirdly.
Yeah, Aaron was quick to point out that the Proposal won points because the clear lazy way to create drama by bringing in the ex-girlfriend isn't serviced that way. There's no cat fight between
Yeah, for sure.
Bullock and it is just two women who like understand that the person they're with is at a different point in their life than they were, you know.
This movie smells a bit like a movie where they had both endings made, where he chooses Malin Akerman and he chooses Sandra Bullock,
Ooh.
and then they tested them both, and then they chose this one. It
Right,
does.
maybe.
It smells of that.
I wouldn't be shocked. Maybe we got to
mean,
get the DVD.
It's the wrong choice, though. Just to be clear, it's the wrong ending.
Daniel, will you
The
come
one-
on
the one-
camera?
wait,
Sorry.
the one we saw, you mean, or the?
Just so we're all clear. No, if that is the case, they picked wrong. The right ending is for them to not end up together. I did appreciate the line, "Marry me because I'd like to date you." It is the only kind of self-aware moment in the movie where they're like, we all know this is ridiculous,
Yeah.
and this is like the starting point of their relationship. And from that perspective, I guess I understand, marry me so you can stay in the country so we can like develop our relationship. But it just, it was so unearned.
Production. We talked about the Eagles. Hey, both films had moving curtains. I'm really digging deep here.
Yeah, I wanna go back actually and address how both these movies have a wealthier, more powerful person realizing that they can't just do whatever they want and abuse people as like core moments
Yeah.
in the movie. Very similar.
Except they don't, because Robert Redford doesn't actually learn his lesson. He wins and then realizes that even though he's won, he won't ever fully have her heart. But he wins in his pursuit of the thing that he was told he couldn't have.
He is a monster. He
is a monster.
He is a monster.
Yeah,
And
and
Sandra Bullock's character is a monster when we start the film, and then we just assume that over 3 days she completely gets rid of the whole ideology she's based her professional career on. But
Her daughter's sick.
her daughter is shock.
Okay, her daughter is sick. I wish that was the theme. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Okay.
Oh, production. I'm gonna lump this into production and not
Yeah,
acting.
do it.
The background actors in The Proposal are a perfect example of how you can be simultaneously a great and terrible background actor all at the same time. Just like every single person in frame was hamming it up. And it was beautiful. And I want to shake every single one of their hands and thank them for the experience they gave me.
Yeah.
I did notice some pretty fantastic in both senses of the word background acting in the Proposal. And I mean, it never ceases to amaze me how low the bar is for background actors.
Oh my god.
Like they just don't like directors and producers and studios just don't give a shit, and they just expect that we won't either. Oh, on that note,
Fantastic.
that was a bell in case you didn't hear it.
That was it. We heard it. We heard it.
Okay, great.
So end of round. No more words. Moving on right away to our third round, which is, quite suitably speaking, acting. Good?
Nice.
Yeah.
So what I will say is that
Tell us, Dan.
for
Tell us
all
the
the
word.
flaws that both of these movies have,
Uh-huh.
the cast is I think where they both really shine. I
Yeah.
think the proposal especially, because the proposal
Yeah.
for such a hammy, loose movie and plot, there
Yep.
are some really strong actors holding it together.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds, it's very nice to see Ryan Reynolds not at like the peak of his shtick acting.
Yeah,
There
he's
is-
like
there is some
it's more
more-
balanced.
There is some more balanced, grounded work
Sure.
coming out of him.
Also
relative
identical to
to
every
Ryan
other
Reynolds.
role. I mean,
Well, Ryan Reynolds, you're not hiring Ryan Reynolds
no.
to do Hamlet.
He's,
You hire
he's
him
incredible.
to do his thing.
He's incredible at his thing, and
Yeah.
his thing will always make a movie earn money. So
Totally.
he
But
does
like
that, yeah.
like we are now in kind of like peak Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds shtick
yeah.
era with Deadpool and
Post
movies
Green
of the like.
Lantern. Oh, where we
It-
are now. Yeah.
And
Where we
Free
are
Guy
now.
that you watched.
Oh yeah, Free
Which-
Guy. Don't get me.
Oh,
Can't believe
I
you-
would love to have an off
Ugh.
the record debate.
We'll do a
about, Free Guy.
podlet about Free Guy.
Did you
Great.
watch it, Sean?
Yeah,
Yeah, Sean hated it.
it's the movie Aaron and I rang in the New Year with, and
Oh, that's
I want
funny.
to kill myself.
Oh god.
I've watched 3 Ryan Reynolds movies in the past week. Free Guy, Deadpool 2. I watched Deadpool 2 and The Proposal yesterday. I'm on a real Ryan Reynolds kick right now.
Okay.
But
right road.
so I have a point of reference for where his acting kind of sits in The Proposal,
Okay.
and it's definitely more grounded than I'm used to from him. So it's
Right.
like he's by no stretch like
Yeah.
the star actor of this movie.
I think
Who-
I think Sandy B is actually acting the shit out of this movie.
She's slaying
100%.
this film.
100%.
way more than
Yeah.
it deserves.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
I
She's
don't know about
giving
more than it
her
deserves.
full.
Oh,
I
way
actually-
more than
I-
it deserves.
Oh, I think more than
Well,
it deserves.
no, but I appreciate any actor who's going to bring that level of commitment to a movie like this because it elevates the movie. It makes it more
Yeah.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
But
So-
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying
Yeah.
she elevated the movie.
100%.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like they're lucky to have her do that. Like it's
Yeah.
like
Totally.
The-
like this was a decent script that she did a bit more in the percentage work of it, but she and Reynolds like picked up and made a movie, and a movie that people like generally like. People generally like this movie. Miranda was
It's
thrilled. We
fun.
watched it. She was like, "Yay!" The
Yeah,
proposal."
Marisa loved it too. She's seen it a bunch of times. But the the real standout for me, surprisingly, in The Proposal was the dad,
Craig T. Nelson.
Craig T.
Yeah.
Nelson. Yeah,
He's
I thought he
very
was
grounded.
very grounded.
That's all he
Um,
does. That again, that's his thing though. That's he plays the fatherly figure who is grounded. They got everyone to do their thing. They
Betty
got
White did her
they
thing
got Betty
great.
White to do kooky old
Betty
lady.
White.
Mary Steenburgen is doing doting mother role. They just hired the right. Malin Akerman is being the sweet girl next door that you fall in love with.
Malin Akerman of Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle fame. You know what I mean? Like we're talking, they're getting
Is this the ex-girlfriend?
yeah.
Yeah, she's
She was in
Watchmen.
Harold and Kumar.
She's the inbred daughter that they go and see in the trailer park.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
okay, that
she's in
tracks.
Watchmen. Is
She's-
she the wait? Who is she in Watchmen?
She's the Silk Spectre.
Really, that's her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I never realized this with dark hair.
Yep.
Yep.
Like the lead woman in like the cat suit.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
spandex. Oh, whoa, cool.
Damn, that's quite a. When you change the hair, really, yeah, you can't tell.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I
I-
thought everybody
and
was
I-
actually quite strong.
and I see what you mean. Like speaking of Indecent Proposal, I actually really enjoyed Robert Redford.
Yeah.
I think more than Woody and Demi, who do a mix of good acting, mostly good. Some weird. I think partly the script is weird, like, and what they were directed to do, and
I think
like,
that's the main thing.
that it was like, get really wild, Woody, like fucking scream at the door until your glasses fall off, and throw the wine bottle, and Demi, like, give the information out of order so that he can be angry and throw that wine bottle, and then cry with your dish gloves on. And I was like, what? Why? Like, it was really manufactured drama.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But Redford was like also really grounded, and he somehow made it feel like a legit thing. It kind of falls apart. He doesn't really have anything to do after he has sex with
after he
her.
wins, yeah.
yeah.
It becomes a bit like it's just like
I see Robert Redford after now. I think we've done a few films of his. He's in Marvel and all that stuff. Robert Redford is the George Clooney of the like 60s, 70s, 80s.
yeah, I think 1,000,000% that sounds right.
He's charismatic. He walks on screen. He stands still. He says things eloquently and with charm, and you go, oh, okay, and the scene goes by without any issue.
Yeah,
Yeah, like he's not really given anything of substance to do that requires any kind of range, but everything he says, I believe. He is
Yeah.
charming, he is charismatic, he is all those things.
Yep.
But there's something very natural about
Yeah.
his on-screen
course.
presence, which makes him incredibly watchable.
I
I don't
really-
know how. Go ahead, Jack.
I really liked the like whole proposal scene. To me, it's the best scene in the movie where they're playing pool.
Oh yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah. And
I think it's
he's really good.
He's
Yeah.
doing really subtle, nuanced stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just making it clear where to take where he's
Yeah.
taking each step, and it's why it starts more jovial, and it's not, and he doesn't, and it's like very intentful that the tone is similar throughout, so it's like harder for them to interpret it as being an affront. You know that it's really well done, and it could be done so poorly. I don't know if Clooney would do it well, if I'm being honest.
He's technically strong.
Yeah.
He's a good
Apparently,
technical actor.
apparently a remake is in the works for this movie, by the way, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get a Clooney.
Starring Dua Lipa and Coyote Peterson. I don't know.
Starring Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly
Yeah.
uh,
Oh no.
as the
And then-
couple,
And yeah, I don't know who plays
and fucking
and DJ Khaled as the,
and
the
DJ
billionaire.
Khaled. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like Clint Eastwood. Fucking at this.
I'll give
Oh,
you $1 million
God.
to sleep with your wife. Clint, this isn't a movie.
Do it for America.
Get off my lawn unless
Get up
you
mine.
unless you want to come inside for $1 million.
So, that scene really stuck out as and it's one of those things where Demi and Woody really just had to like respond to that, and I thought, you know what I mean? Like they clearly
Yeah,
had a
he
good
owns
thing.
the scene, and he's forcing them. He's making them better by, wheedling away with clever tactics to make them uncomfortable and
Yeah,
get them off their game. Yeah,
I wanted his character to evolve a bit.
past the
like-
psychopath continuum that we discussed early.
Yeah, just like the
Earlier?
flat
Yeah.
line of his character eventually
Yeah.
became uninteresting as the movie fizzled out
Yeah.
kind of afterwards.
Like the point where he walks into her classroom and emotionally extorts her.
Yeah.
That was fun
At work?
at work.
Yeah.
And then she goes home with him, and they
Yeah,
kiss.
that's the winning move.
Yep.
Which is fucking batshit crazy to me.
I
I'm
guess
gonna
the
show up at
winning
your
move-
new job.
The winning move is to buy 2 dogs after, and like clearly he
Oh.
doesn't take care of those dogs. So those are just like, they're probably spoiled to death. But like, fuck you, man.
Yeah. Fucking no kidding.
I think Woody, I like Woody Harrelson generally as an actor. I don't enjoy watching him in this movie. I think it's mostly to do with the character being super fucking dated.
Yeah.
Like
The man who just can't control his emotions because he loves too hard.
and like
So he
he's just
punches people.
going crazy because she's his
Yeah.
and now he's jealous and
Yeah, it's locked up in this really shitty puritanical idea of love where like there is only a man and a woman, and if you dare go outside that, even if you love each other a ton and have really wild kinky sex, it's not acceptable.
yeah, and like you made that choice, like she did it, like it's, you know what I mean, like it's
But I want to argue one thing because I don't I don't necessarily know that I completely disagree with the direction that they took Woody Harrelson's character. He went way too far, and I think that is the fault of the director more than Woody.
Yep.
But I think more so than anything, and what they really try to hammer home is that he is spiraling not because another man had his woman, which there is a layer of that as well, but it's the not knowing the details that really drives him nuts. And I mean,
Sure.
I think that
he's a catty, jealous weirdo.
no, but okay, let's unpack this for a second. We're all in relationships. If any of us had the same arrangement, and then our partner came home and did not divulge the details of the evening, we would be in a similar mental state. I don't know if we'd be freaking out, but there would be a lot of stuff that there's a lot of places that your mind can take that with, because you don't know what's happening. The fact that she is so determined to not talk about it,
Right.
that can be maddening.
Yeah.
I mean, so there is the possessive quality or aspect to it, but I think it is the fact that she just refuses to let him know what actually happened and to talk about it that
Yeah.
kind of pushes him too far, right?
That's probably for plot device in the end. Is like, well, we can't have her tell him because then the audience would lose all the suspense, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think to
Totally.
be kind of to play the middle of this, I hear what you're saying, Dan, which is that it's part of the plot too, though, in that I think the reason she doesn't want to talk about it is because she felt a connection with this person.
Right. Oh,
Right.
Totally. But also, which I think Woody's character, we're supposed to believe that he is picked up on and realizes that that's why she doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So he is. It's not about the physical aspect. It's the fact that he is losing the connection to the person who he is supposed to be more connected to than anyone in the world.
Right.
Yeah, but I think
Right?
that's even putting it that way still puts it in a pretty monogamist centric.
I don't think
You
it's
know?
well maybe it does, but I think that again we all can talk or admit that what would make a non-monogamous non-monogamous relationship work is having that foundation of trust with your
Yeah.
partner.
Honesty.
Yeah.
for
And
sure.
and
For
open
sure. There's
communication, right?
distrust.
Totally.
Yeah.
If
you're,
there's
you're totally
distrust,
right.
you're
Dan.
fucked,
I'm
right?
fucking with you. But yeah, distrust is the real problem. I think you're spot on. But I wanna also ask while we're here and shooting the shit, and you kind of brought it up. I want to ask the question, because we're all in relationships, would you do it?
Oh.
Because like the movie, it's up to us as the men.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Because immediately I'm like, well, that's. See, if I shot that scene, it would not be Robert Redford asking Woody Harrelson if he can. It would be like, oh, let's have Demi Moore have a conversation with Robert Redford, where he asks her, and there's none of this weird middleman bullshit.
Where Woody Harrelson has to decide if he's going to sell her or not. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit weird.
And I will answer your question, but I just want to point out that in the movie, it isn't really Woody Harrelson who makes the decision. It is Demi Moore who decides, or at least allows herself to.
Yeah, but then they toxically put it back on Woody. That where Robert says, I mean, if he really didn't want you to, he would stop you. He would have
Yes,
said
which is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like in my mind, Woody Harrelson is the one who gets fucked the most in this movie because he's persuaded. Like he is like, I don't want to do this, and then his wife is like, but like, what if we did it? It would be fine. You kind of like, you should probably do it, and then he does it.
He's like, what are
spirals.
we gonna blow it on a hippo or something?
Yeah, but then he does it. And then he's like, I really need you to talk to me about this, and she's like, no, actually, I don't want to do that. Also, how could you be so mad? All of this was for you. I did it all because of you. It was all for you. And then, like, it's just everything
it's
kind of
not
blows
good.
up. Yeah. But to get back to your question, Jack, I actually had a phone call with Marisa in the middle of this movie where I was like, if we ever get propositioned, we have to agree right now that we will collectively say no, because I relate to Woody Harrelson's character way too much.
I see.
And I
You've
just
thrown a
know-
lot of wine in your life
No, I don't freak out like that.
at
But
your partner. Yeah.
but I know that in those exact circumstances, if I don't have all the information, I would be the one to spiral.
No,
And
but
I
you
would-
have
and I would blow it
information.
up. I mean, if it's like we're gonna do this and then you're gonna tell me everything that happened, then maybe.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's the same proposal, but handled by your relation.
Handled by this generation.
The guy has to be really old.
Okay.
Really old, because then
Okay.
I won't be like jealous or worried about his sexual prowess at all.
Oh, I think
Right.
I think I don't like that more. I don't think I want
That's a,
because that
And
comes
I'm
up
allowed to. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
because
I'm also just kidding. I also don't know.
Yeah,
for
no,
sure
I know.
what the circumstances would be, but
like this, Sean and I were talking about this watching it, that it's like this shitty, the toxic male side of it is how he's so upset that it was good sex.
yeah.
He's like, damn it, I wish it was more rapey. Like
Yeah.
I would
I
be
wish it was
happier if it was
forced.
bad and it hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good.
Oh
place to
no,
end.
we didn't get to the star actor out of everyone, Billy Bob
Oscar
Thornton.
Nunez.
Billy Bob Thornton in there as Guy in Casino.
Yeah.
That
And
wasn't
Denise
actually
fake boobs.
Was that actually Billy Bob Thornton?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I thought it was him, but it didn't look quite
50
like
pounds
him. So I
heavier. Yeah.
Yeah, he aged well.
Whoa, he did age well.
Just a couple
I
hair
think he got
plugs.
famous and lost a lot of weight.
Was this
And
one of his
hair plugs.
first roles?
We actually didn't talk about Demi Moore though, but
Oh shit. I thought she was great.
I thought she was good.
Yeah, this is gonna sound so bad.
We-
My only other point of reference for Demi Moore as an actor is Striptease.
Striptease, of course. We're all the same age, Dan.
Right. Which I watched-
Charlie's Angels. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was in Charlie's Angels.
Yeah,
wasn't
that
she?
didn't burn itself into my subconscious like
Yeah,
striptease
No,
did,
of
though.
course not.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, are her boobs fake? Are we sure they're
Prob-
fake?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I thought,
what about the teeth? Are the teeth real?
how are the teeth? Are the teeth
Sean?
real? Nose. How's the nose? But back to the boobs, though. Really, no.
Oh,
So Woody and Demi. My final note will be that I think they're both very strong actors. I think they both have weak moments in the movie. Again, I blame the director for that, because you can tell that they know how to handle material, and just from like the weird tonal disconnects of the rest of the film and how fucking dramatic everything is made to feel, I feel like that was director more than actor. But I will commend both for their on-screen chemistry. They know how to build a relationship
Yeah.
between the two of them.
Just answer my fucking question, Dan. What is the answer? Yes, you would, or no, or no?
I thought I answered that pretty sufficiently. I
I
don't know. I would have to consider it.
John?
Is my answer.
I mean, yeah, it would be a discussion, but like ultimately, that's not my decision. I would be fully supportive of either outcome. You know.
I don't own my
Yeah.
partner.
Yeah.
But
The
you
money
wanted-
would be great.
Okay, hold on. Fuck both of you. We're not going to play this out so that I'm the one who's possessive
I
of my
think
partner.
we
I said we'd
just
have.
did.
I think
I
it
said
just
we-
went like that, though.
Okay. Okay. Fine. You know what? She is my property. You guys can fuck off.
I don't see no ring on it.
No, there's a leash actually.
But like, I honestly wouldn't care for one night. You know,
now,
if
how
there's
would
definitely
you?
a line. If the proposition was like,
for 6 months, I get.
but it's for $600 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every other weekend for the next year. But
I mean,
okay,
that's a timeshare.
that is a timeshare. Now, what would you have? Would you still have no issue with it if the guy was like a Brad Pitt type, and Aaron came home and was like, "That was the best
Like,
sex I've
couldn't
ever
walk straight?
had." well, that implies that it was overly rough. But I mean, like, she's like glowing, beaming, like this. It was a life-changing experience for her.
Yeah, the happiness of my partner is actually paramount for me
Yeah.
in my relationship. So I would be actually pretty stoked about that. I'm like,
Yeah.
you get paid and you're thrilled.
I fucking don't believe that for a goddamn second.
Okay.
Not even. I believe that you think that. I believe that you would like to think that you're that kind of person, but I also think that in the moment, in reality, it would not fucking play out the way that you're saying it would.
I'm not
I don't
saying
think
it'd
that you'd be like,
I-
"Oh, that's great, babe. I'm so happy you had a good time."
it
And we're
wouldn't
rich,
be
amazing.
It wouldn't be
Let's sit down to our
100%.
spaghetti dinner.
It wouldn't
Yeah,
be
exactly.
100% easy, but yeah, I would. That seems like in the scenario that we'd be in, that would be
How many
overall
bottles of
win.
wine would you throw?
I mean, I'd have the money to go to a place where I could
Yeah.
throw because a red bottle of wine at a fucking white fridge looks really. Once in
Good
my
shot.
life, I kind of wanna.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're taking a break here. Maybe an ad will play. Sometimes they don't. See you in a sec. Hey, thanks for waiting around or either not waiting around. Either one is cool with us at the Church of Cain. Say a prayer for the boxers. Okay, so let's jump into our fourth round, which is rewatchability. And is there any of it?
That's the best one so far.
Thank you.
Was it?
Is there any of it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that there is some rewatchability with The Proposal.
Oh,
Just because it's light, it's fluffy. There's nothing stressful about it. It's kind of like why I like Free Guy so much. Because
Oh, God. Dan.
Proposal is so much better than Free Guy.
oh, you're not going to find me arguing the opposite.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but
Like-
the same qualities apply. It is
Sure.
fun actors doing fun things in a brainless plot that requires no real, mental exhaustion or
Yeah.
activity.
Is Ryan Reynolds shirtless and Free Guy as well?
I think he's always wearing the same shirt.
There is another version of his character
Oh yeah.
that is very shirtless, but like very
Oh, it's like
very
brawny dude.
roided up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's
and
not-
Then there's lightsabers.
If it's not the real,
There are lightsabers.
I would say like 80%, no, like 90% of The Proposal is super rewatchable. That's why I was actually kind of excited to watch it again because I hadn't seen it in like a decade or something, and I was like, that movie's really, that's a fun movie.
Mhm.
And then the ending is a real whoopee cushy, as I said before, and it's just like it's disappointing. It's a disappointing ending, but I feel like in another 8 to 10 years, I'm gonna forget about it, and we'll watch it again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be like, fun. Oh yeah, it ends weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see myself watching an Indecent Proposal again because it's just too dated for me. That like I just can't deal with the whole men owned a woman.
I would probably rewatch Indecent Proposal just to try and figure out her turn again. I still don't know why she suddenly leaves him and why she suddenly comes back.
She suddenly leaves Woody Harrelson.
Yeah,
I think it's just because
'cause
he
he's
starts being a
fucking
meanie.
crazy.
Yeah, he starts being a real meanie head.
I know, but then
and the rich guy is nice and consistent.
it's not explained well. So I would go back and try and see if maybe I'm the one at fault.
You're not though. Yeah,
you
you're gonna
aren't.
try and fill in all the gaps that movie left. And then why does she go back? Fucking cause whatever, because the movie wants to end that way.
Yeah,
Because
but also,
they sustained eye contact for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
yeah.
He like put on a new blazer.
But also, if it was on TBS and it was near the beginning of the movie, I'd probably put it on to see how foolishly they edit the sex scenes. You know?
Yeah, do you think that in the TBS version they still have the dong and mouth?
I doubt it. They probably
They
they
don't show
probably like
boobs.
have a little fuzzy area over her nipple too when she's lying in bed.
I feel like, oh yeah, I guess so, because she's like there's just full nip
Yeah, it's
during
just-
a dialogue scene.
They're just
Yeah.
in bed. Yeah,
A woman's nipple?
it's gross.
It's
I was pretty
scandalous.
disgusted. Yeah, it was really gross.
We don't accept that kind of thing at the Church of Cain.
No, only
You know what I
male
mean?
nipples.
No nipples are allowed here.
Only
All-
boners.
Yeah,
No
we're for
nipples.
equality, and all nipples have to be shown, but
So-
full lower body genitalia must be shown.
So do our boxers fight with shirts on?
Yeah,
Okay,
but
but
no,
no
pants.
pants.
No
No
pants.
pants.
that's
No.
the
And
way
we
God
give-
intended.
We give each fighter 2 Viagra's before they fight.
Oh.
Yeah, but we put a little boxing glove on the end of it too.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, so that
Um,
that's
yeah, I'm. On that note, I think I'm with you, Sean. I would if I'm flipping channels, I would maybe let Indecent Proposal play. If I land on it,
you would let Robert Redford buy you for a few cents. Yeah.
I would let Robert Redford buy me for $1 million, 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I have no problem selling my own body for that kind of money to that man.
And
In that year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oliver
about
Platt
now.
made this. Oliver Platt. We
Yeah.
didn't talk about Oliver Platt. Oh,
Platt.
Oliver Platt
Love
was so
that
good.
man.
King. Let's call him King.
King.
King, I will rule you. Is that what it is, or the crown you?
I don't
I'll
know.
rule you. I don't know.
Rule you.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, when he says, John, I would have sex with him, it's like,
Yep.
yeah, thank you for saying it.
Yeah.
And that was the bell. Perfect. So end of round. So let's pull up we'll look at the end. So starting with our rating of that. So I'm just to start off our scoring. I, if it wasn't clear enough, would choose The Proposal for watchability. It's a movie
Oh,
because
we're
I
gonna start
like,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I always think
okay,
it's,
sure.
yeah.
Fucking
It's
why
a-
not?
we're always right there. I just feel like we should start there.
The
Yeah, it
proposal.
doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, it's because I would rewatch like 90% of that movie and have a pretty jolly time. Like I like it. Like I like The Proposal. To be clear, I like it. I think the ending is like kind of muddy, but I like it.
But okay, fine, fair. But I think the important question we've got to consider is how do you feel about The Proposal? Do you like it?
I mean, that's hard to say. I mean, when you really
Yeah.
press it like that,
It's not really clear.
I know. Come back to me maybe, and
Okay.
I'll maybe give you a better answer.
Classic
All right.
Jack. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fair.
come back to me.
Yeah. I would. My gut is saying Indecent Proposal, just because it is more of a mystery to me, and there were legitimate parts of The Proposal that made me want to smash my head through plate glass windows.
Right. So you're intrigued because you believe there's more to be discovered.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
fair. That's fair.
I wish they had turned it into like a murder mystery. I kept
They
thinking that
teased it, eh?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
he
I
killed a
kept
man.
thinking that
Yeah.
this movie was. Yeah. Also, what the fuck was that? Just throw that into one scene and
Maybe
never talk about it
Redford
again.
just improvised it, and they were like, "Yeah, that's kind of
All right,
funny."
sure, yeah.
All right.
But like, I definitely thought this was going to go in like a crime thriller direction.
Like Woody would have to escape
Yeah.
the hitman that he sent to kill him,
Yeah.
so that she's not.
I kind of
Yeah.
hoped it was going to go there, that Redford was going to try and get her by killing him, that he was going to kind of go mad
Yeah.
and say that he now wanted to keep her
Yeah,
and make that happen. That would be a cool movie, maybe.
that would be a cool movie. Hopefully, they do that in the remake. Proposal rewatchability for
Okay.
Daniel.
And if we're looping back to me, I would say The Proposal because like I like it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
I think
That's
I would
good.
say that I like it.
That's acceptable.
I'm going to keep going backwards and go
Very
to
good.
acting.
Oh,
It's a tricky one.
acting is a tricky one. Can we bounce around a bit because I need to
Okay.
consider acting
Okay.
a little bit.
Then let's go to a middle one. Production.
Indecent Proposal.
Yeah, I think it has. I mean, for as disjointed as it is, they are attempting a lot of really cool stuff.
Yep.
Some
Yep.
cool stuff, not a lot, but some cool stuff. So yeah, Indecent Proposal.
You mean just like shots of a small Alaskan town are enough for you?
That's actually like a Connecticut town.
No,
Yeah.
normally they would be actually, but
It's pretty nice.
it was pretty nice. It
It's
was pretty
always
beautiful.
fucking sunny in that world. Fuck that.
Yeah. Lame.
Points for Sandra Bullock for standing up in heels and a skirt on the streets of Manhattan, but no, I'm giving my point also to Indecent Proposal.
All
You
right.
mean kneeling down in heels and a skirt?
Yeah, but no, getting up. The getting up was the impressive.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go back to story then.
I think I gotta give story to The Proposal for everything I talked about earlier. There is a full, I use the word loosely, but there is a full story there. There's a beginning, a middle, an end. An obstacle is overcome. Characters
Yeah.
change. There is a
Yep.
story.
It is simple, yet effective, and they throw in little flares that are unique to it that aren't necessarily amazing, but fun to follow along with The Proposal.
Yeah, for a second I was considering if I was actually going to give it to Indecent Proposal because I feel like it actually has more of a beginning, middle, and end. Like it's too long and they're muddy, but at least they're there. Whereas I feel like The Proposal has a beginning, a middle, and a neh,
And
and like a and a neh. So, and the, classic whoopee cushy sound. So
It's like whoopee cushy.
Classic whoopee cushy.
that's what they should be called. I didn't make a mistake. I coined a new term. So yeah, I mean, part of me would want to, but at the end of the day, just like the writing of that movie so underserved the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of what ruined it. It's a good premise that could be developed really well, especially if it really leaned into being, like we talked about, more dramatic and more of a thriller. But I think the script is a flop. And it actually just had some decent performances and like some kind of interesting production to hold it up. But it's a 50 Shades. It's a 50 Shades. In the end of the day, unfortunately, it's just tried to be more artsy. So Proposal for me too.
Woo!
Actung, we're coming back.
What are we at now? We're at 2. Are we at 2-1 for the Proposal?
2-1 for the Proposal.
We can do our wild card now then.
Yeah, let's do the wild card.
So, all right. What was your wild card, Jack?
I was gonna, if I did it, I was gonna keep it simple and do one that we hadn't done somehow that I think would be appropriate for this week, which is simply enough. Like, which movie would you rather fuck? You know what I mean? Like, which one?
I feel like it's too easy because they all have hot people in it, but like
I know
Proposal has some steamy shit. There were parts that got me genuinely aroused, like fucking on a waterbed covered in money.
Covered in money. Yeah.
Let's
I mean,
pretty hilarious.
Take that in for a second. Who doesn't get a little chubby from that idea? You know?
Sure, but accidentally having a naked Sandra Bullock fall on top of you,
go slop right into her. You know?
Ew.
That made it worse. But
That did make it worse.
So then, what's the sound that happens?
So then, if that's so bad, what's yours? Your official one?
Not bad.
It's basic. I know.
Daniel.
I mean,
tonight, man.
I hadn't really thought about it, but I think the natural question for this is, what is the harder proposal?
Oh, ooh, I like it.
Oh,
I like this.
Like which movie would be, like, which proposal of these movies would be harder to choose?
Yeah, what is the more challenging position to be in? Because they're actually
so
both
the point
high stakes and tough.
So the point that we would give is not to which proposal is a better proposal, but which one is actually a worse, more high stakes proposal.
Well, I don't know, like, if there's a better proposal, because both are negative for the protagonist, right? So there isn't like a better or worse. It is harder to choose, a harder position to find yourself in.
which is the more difficult proposal?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. We can save which movie to have sex with for another one then. That feels odd. I'll do it when we have like MVP 2 or 3 on here. Versus, then I'll bring
Bedtime
that one
for
back.
Bonzo.
Yeah.
Definitely
Doolittle
the proposal.
versus Doolittle.
The proposal, to me, as a moral quandary is far more perplexing than, my partner had sex with someone. I don't want to deceive my entire family for a job promotion. Yeah, it's not something I do.
But is the moral quandary not with the exchange of money, the literal selling of the body, as opposed to it just being this person, your partner, sleeping with somebody else?
But I don't see that as morally repugnant.
Okay, Jack.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say,
you guys
Dan?
are so progressive.
Like, would you, I mean, I feel like it was like married in front of your family. I feel like you'd be like, yeah, fucking whatever. And I'd be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd have as hard a time deceiving my family.
I know.
If I'm being honest.
Me too, I think.
Yeah. And if it meant like getting the career that I wanted, and everything that came along with that, if I'd spent
Yeah.
years trying to get there, and if I don't do it, it's all for naught.
But like marrying someone, and you have
Marriages
to like.
can be annulled,
Yeah.
divorces happen. Like there's an easy dissolution to a marriage, right?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
but
I
it's
hear
not
what
going to
you're
be easy,
saying.
right? There's going to be divorce papers. There's going to be lawyers involved.
It's involved. It's not.
It's going to cost you money.
It's yeah, but I would make sure that she covered the cost of all the
Okay.
fucking court fees and stuff,
All
right?
right.
It would
So
probably
you-
actually make me money. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean I'm
So we're
I'm
back
not-
to indecent proposal then.
what's that?
So we're back to if it's making you money.
I guess. I think honestly, I don't know, as much as I don't want to admit it, I don't know that I am so much not the jealous type
Right.
that I could easily agree to those conditions in
fair.
indecent proposal. So I think
fair.
I think that is a more challenging one for me.
Jack deciding vote.
I think it's the proposal for me too.
Is that
Really?
the hardest one?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm not the biggest fan of marriage and the whole thing, and as much as I could go into it with like a chip on my shoulder of like, yeah, I'm just doing this, I don't really care about it, so it doesn't really mean anything to me. That's also not like my full opinion of it. Like I also don't think it's like something just to throw around either. Like I'm kind of, I don't know, I kind of straddle this line of make with it what you will. I think if I did that, it would like, I think it would just ruin more stuff in my life. Like I think it would it would make the effort to like get married for real, if I took that step, more fucked than this other proposal. I don't know. I just think it would cause further problems.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so the proposal.
Also for acting, I would say the proposal.
Yeah, same here. Sandy Bullock steals the entire week.
Woo, go Sandy.
Yeah. Daniel?
I don't know. I think I actually have to go with the indecent proposal for acting. Just because there's
Really?
more. Yeah, I think so.
Because there's more.
Well, there's more acting. There's like more. There's
It's
more.
a quantity thing.
There's more. No. I mean, insofar as there is more required of the actors.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
I think everybody is strong. I think that there are fewer weak links in Indecent Proposal. We didn't talk about Oscar Nunez. We kind of touched on him, the guy who plays Ramon. We didn't
Yeah,
talk about the
bad.
fucking
Tyrant.
slimy immigration
that's
officer.
right.
You know what I mean? So there are
yeah.
there are fewer weak links.
He was
in
fine.
he was fine, but he stood out like a sore thumb among the otherwise kind of stellar cast, right? So
Can I just bring up the Raspberry Awards from 2000?
Wait, Razzie
sorry,
is short for
the
raspberry?
The Golden Raspberry
Yeah.
Awards.
What?
This Indecent Proposal was nominated for worst picture, which it won. Worst director, worst actor for Adrian Lynn. Worst actor Robert Redford. Worst actress Demi Moore. Worst supporting actor Woody Harrelson won that one. Worst screenplay won that one, and worst original song, "You Love Me in All the Right Places" by John Barry.
where
Wait,
did that
so
song play? Was that during the waterbed money fuck scene?
probably.
Probably.
That's when we were like, is this Phil Collins? I bet that's that guy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It really, eh?
Yeah.
Was it received that poorly by audiences and by like
No,
No,
it's
but
just it's 50 Shades.
Yeah.
It's 50 Shades, right? So it's
gonna
and it's
be
very
critically
similar to
panned.
it's you can actually see the relation, right? 50 Shades is also a billionaire using their power. It's just
yeah.
it's a similar vibe. It's very
Contracts.
similar.
I've never
Yeah,
seen or
contracts.
read 50 Shades. I don't really
Nor
know
I.
what the premise is.
Well,
But that's exactly what this movie is. We've never seen it, and yet we know what the vibe of it is because it permeated culture. That's why it
Right.
was a classic this week.
Right. That's
Anyway.
fair.
So what does that mean? With a score of how many? 4-1?
I think 4-1.
4-1.
Wowzer.
Yeah. The Citizen Kane of the week is
It takes two to make a thing go right. It takes two to make it out of sight. Hey!
The Proposal. Yeah, knockout. Holy knockout.
From the window to the wall. What a
Church punch. Directly to the
Church punch.
exposed penis. So
Exposed.
Not exposed. It has a little boxing glove on it.
has a little boxing glove, partially. So thanks so much for listening. As we said earlier, be sure to pray and subscribe or whatever. Tweet a friend. Just, you know what, this week, just tell one other person that you listen to this podcast. That'd actually be the best thing. If you actually wanted to help,
Yeah,
that would matter the
can
most.
be phrased as, these three fucking idiots have this shit ass podcast I listen to.
Yeah, that I listen to 20 minutes of every
Yeah,
week, and
yeah.
I throw it away.
I laugh at them.
That's fine too. Like, honestly, we're
Yeah.
if you give us $1 million, you can sleep with Dan.
Done.
There's our decent proposal.
Yeah.
Fucking done.
You
And
would-
Marisa won't care. She'll be fine.
is that true?
100%.
Let's get
Yeah,
Marisa in here.
that would only be an issue because of me. I think Marisa would actually be. Do you want to get Marisa in here? She wouldn't care. She
No,
would.
it's good. We're ending
We'll
the
save that for
podcast.
the next Tournament of Champions.
Okay.
Yeah.
She might. I honestly don't know, but I feel like it would be a lot harder for me than her.
Alrighty. Well, this was a perfect filler episode of absolutely filler movies, but they were fun to watch, and we hoped maybe you watched them too. You know, that helps. So next episode we will get back to our regularly scheduled episode of Mice and Men versus Mouse Hunt. So be sure to check that out. Much love. Shout out to all the homies out there. What am I missing?
I don't know.
Peace and love.
Amen.
Have I ever told you that I love you?
No.
Even still. Wait.
No.
I do.
I do.
Still.
Always.
Okay, bye.